Mary redeemed a $50,000 cash prize playing Chumba Casino online.
I was only playing for fun, so winning was a dream come true.
Chumba Casino is America's favorite free online social casino. You, too, could have the chance to win life-changing cash prizes. Absolutely anybody could be like Mary. Be like Mary. Log on to ChumbaCasino.com and play for free now. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details. The voice in the preceding commercial was not the actual voice of the winner.
Live from multiple locations via the miracle of Skype, it's the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing. Co-host, Ed Kaluka. Featuring dangerous Dan Margetta. And Brian Schmidt. LTN is a caller-driven program, and your participation is encouraged by calling 414-421-7901. That's 414-421-7901. Now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
And welcome to the program. Joey Logano is our 2022 NASCAR Cup Series champion. After winning last week right here in Phoenix, Arizona. Thanks for joining us. My three partners join me, beginning with Ed Kaluka of West Bend, Wisconsin. Morning, Eddie.
Morning, Todd. Another boring race at Phoenix.
Yeah, it wasn't too good, was it? Dan Margetta of St. Francis, Wisconsin.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, for a championship race, it wasn't probably one of the most exciting ones I've been at.
That's a good way to put it. And, of course, Brian Schmidt of Oostburg, Wisconsin.
I would say Joey Logano was the dominant car. I mean, he left no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He was the man to beat all day. The only, I guess, little bit of drama at the end was, would Ryan Blaney pass him to become the 20th winner of the season? And after
Did he have
running
orders?
After running pretty hard for a while, and with Ross Chastain in third, it kind of looked like, we're just going to leave it be, and Ryan's going to go winless on the season, which was a little disappointing. But other than that, Joey left no doubt.
There is some conspiracy theorists that believe that the 12 car was given orders somehow to stay there and not pass. It seemed for a while like the 12 was faster than the 22. Would he have been able to pass him, or did we not want to even take the chance?
It sure seemed like they didn't want to take the chance. I mean, and then there's all kinds of things around that. I had heard earlier in the week and all week going up to it that Penske really wanted to have the 12 win it. Joey finished second, win the championship because there's more money to be had with Ryan Blaney winning the race and all that. But it sure seemed like at the end they didn't want to deal with the fact that if Ross Chastain was running right there and was able to get to him, he would be able to put a bumper to him, which, the way Ross ran the race that day, he would definitely put a bumper to him.
Yeah, we might want to talk about that because NASCAR's most popular driver got taken out. Now, all the goodwill that went for Ross Chastain from the crazy finish at Martinsville went right out the window when he took out NASCAR's most popular driver. It seemed to me like it was just a brainless move, right into the back end, turn him into the wall, out of the race. Didn't even get up alongside, did he? I mean, come on.
I didn't think so. It was on a restart, and everybody dives to the inside on a restart, which Chase did, and he, it's a cutoff block type move, and I don't think Ross was up enough to warrant taking him out. I thought he's maybe to the bumper cover, which and it was it like 50 laps to go or something in the race. There was a long time to go yet.
Oh yeah,
I don't think it's worth driving through a guy and wrecking it. Usually, I think the unwritten racing etiquette is okay. You give him the spot now, and we'll go get him later. But Ross just drove through him. You don't cut Ross off. You don't cut Joey Logano off, because those are the two guys that people learn not to do that. So I really thought that was on the one car, that deal. Other people saw it differently, right, Ed?
Yeah, I thought I wasn't sure, but I'll yield to your expertise in seeing that stuff, Dan.
There's something we don't hear too often. But I think we're pretty much in agreement. If you're going to blast the guy from the back like that, come on. It didn't make a lot of sense. Now, on the other hand, that one car was not bad, but Brian, I have to agree with you. There was nobody that had anything for Joey Logano of those top four. I mean, look at some of the people that maybe would have had a shot, like for instance, Kyle Larson. What the hell? He had a terrible car all day. He was lucky to get a top 10 out of it.
Yeah, he wasn't worth the darn. For a brief moment there, I thought maybe Seabell had something for him. He was running, he worked his way up there after earlier in the race. He thought his motor was going to go, and then he started running better, and he got up there for a brief moment, and then he had a bad pit stop. One of his crew members got his finger stuck between the gun and the nut. Ouch, that had to be extremely painful. Yeah. And that relegated him to the back, and he was never able to get back up there. And Chase, I don't know if his car would ever have been good enough to contend at the end, even if he wouldn't have had the issue. It was just one of those days where from the start all the way to the finish, you just had this feeling unless something happened to Logano, he wasn't going to be beat, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, see, I thought that the 9 was better on the longer runs, and it would kind of take a while to get to the same speed the 22 had. I thought the 20 and the 1 were pretty equal to them towards the end of the race, but they were always stuck in traffic and never could get out in front of everybody to really show it. That's why I thought at the end, I thought the 1 was running similar lap times to the 22, and had there been a late caution, I think you would have had all kinds of fireworks. And probably the two most hard-nosed guys in the field would have been at it for the championship, which I was kind of surprised nobody brushed the wall. We didn't have any late cautions to set that up because I think that would have been pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's the second day in a row you're hoping for some car to detonate out there. I mean, Saturday we were hoping for somebody to have an issue so that you could have had the Ty Gibbs-Noah Gragson battle for the win. And then on Sunday, same thing. We were waiting for something to happen, and nothing happened. So all the conspiracy theorists out there that say this NASCAR stuff is rigged, NASCAR put that to bed last weekend because they could have found some way somehow to have that, and it didn't.
The first Ford to win multiple championships since David Pearson.
Wow. On that pit stop, he got his finger caught between a nut and a wheel. He actually had his finger caught in between a nut and a wheel.
That sounds painful to me. Either way. So as far as championship races go, there are people that think that we should still be racing in southern Florida because that Homestead Miami Speedway always put on a great race, and this wasn't quite as good. But, it was an event. Certainly the Phoenix track is capable of handling such a thing and did a great job with all the side show. Yes. Yeah. And it was a good event all the way around.
And the people turn out. That's the biggest thing. I mean, this race sold out. This race sold out
long ago
in March.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they were having a hard time at Homestead, I think, right up until the end. They really never sold that race out. And the seating is very comparable between the two venues. And I mean, they sell this thing out. The weather is usually always nice. I mean, they had a little bit of rain. I think it was maybe Thursday in the Phoenix area, but other than that, the weather was picture perfect, and that's why NASCAR comes here, because they know they're going to be able to put this event on without any issues weather-wise.
Also, the fans can be very interactive with the drivers walking through the garage area. It's all open, so you can walk through, and some drivers, if they elected to, would stand up by their fans and sign autographs. The only one I noticed was Corey LaJoie, but the fact of the matter is that you can see the drivers walking around in there and the crew guys. And if you know any of the crew guys, you can get their attention. And then they say, I'm busy right now. It's really great. It's realistic as hell. So either way, Logano wins it. Second championship for that guy. Here, come a long way since he was 13 years old and chasing Matt Kenseth around Madison International Speedway in the summer of 2003. And the crowd, by the way, that day was rooting for Joey Logano because it was such a story to have a 13-year-old in a crate late model chasing around the point leader in the Cup Series. And little did any of us know that someday he was going to be, at a minimum, a two-time Cup champion. So
I just remember that weekend, they wouldn't let Joey run the Milwaukee Mile because it was a bigger track and he was too young, and he was complaining about it to Ed and I, and Ed put it pretty bluntly why he can't run the mile because if he got hurt. Basically, he told him it's like if you hit the wall there, your brain's still growing and your head's gonna be mush, and his eyes just got real big. Like nobody ever put it that bluntly before. That you could put it to him.
Yeah, well, sometimes you need to hear it, and somebody needs to speak, the English language instead of beating around the bush and giving you ideas of what might happen. Yeah, that's pretty much the story. We would love to hear from our callers today at any time during the program. If you'd like to call us, you can do so at 414-421-7901. We will be back right after these.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company in the heart of Wisconsin is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
Hey, race fans, Elkhart Lake's Road America Season Pass is now available at early bird pricing for a limited time. The Road America Season Pass makes a great gift for you or the racing fan on your gift list. This special personalized pass includes 50-plus days of racing, including the IndyCar, Superbikes, and more. Hurry and order your Season Pass today at RoadAmerica.com. That's RoadAmerica.com or 1-800-365-RACE. Road America, your national park of speed.
Fall has arrived, but there's still time to get your landscaping complete before the snow flies. And PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
This is The Herd.
The winner in this is also
Colin Cowherd.
You don't like Aaron Rodgers. No, I don't like some qualities about him. I think he's a great quarterback. I don't know what they do well. This young wide receiver group, we said this before the season. I don't think Aaron, single guy getting close to 40, he's not built for this group. It's not his personality fit.
This is The Herd.
Weekdays 3 to 6 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
I would say surreal is kind of the vibe we got last week before the race when the rumor was passing around that something was wrong. The official word that we got out of Gibbs Racing was that Ty Gibbs is not going to compete today due to a family emergency. So most people thought, oh, geez, who's going to be in that car? You know, is it going to be Justin Allgaier? Is it going to be Daniel Hemrick? It was going back and forth and back. I was thinking, what would be such a family emergency that to take the kid out of the car? That just doesn't happen unless there's a pretty big, problem. And so mulling that around when I got a text from someone inside the business that said the rumor is that Coy Gibbs died. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, no wonder the kid's out of the car. And then watching pre-race, if some guy in Phoenix, Arizona knows about this, all these people that are on television right now all know the same thing. And look at how they're reacting. They're trying their best to just keep going and not say anything. Nothing came from the family. Until something came from the family, it was going to be nothing but a rumor. And finally, not long before the start of the race, a family statement came out that 49-year-old Coy Gibbs, father of Ty Gibbs, who had won the Xfinity Championship the night before, passed away in his sleep at the at a local hotel here close to the racetrack, the Wigwam. I just can't imagine how difficult this has got to be for not just the team, but think about Grandpa here who lost 2 sons now. J.D. Gibbs died not long ago at the age of 49. 2 sons both died before they turned 50. And what a kick in the nuts for a family that has just dedicated their lives to sports in general, football. Coy Gibbs was a football player at Stanford. He was an assistant coach with the Washington Redskins under his dad. Here he's the chief operating officer for Joe Gibbs Racing and the father of a son that won a championship the day before. I cannot imagine what that family has gone through. It's absolutely terrible.
And that whole track was like that on Sunday. Yeah, everybody kind of knew, but we're waiting for the official word, and everybody just felt bad, I think, too, for the family, for Ty. I mean, he's 20 years old, and he's never going to get to really enjoy the championship now because that's always, that your dad died that night, I mean, it's just, and everybody, especially what all went on all week long and was going on.
Yes.
That kid took a lot of hate from the stands because he didn't like what he did. I get, and that's all part of the deal, but nobody, wished he'd lose his dad that night. I think everybody was really crappy about that whole situation there, too. Yeah. I really hope he talks to, like Dale Jr., because he kind of went through something similar. There's a lot of weight in that kid's shoulders at 20 years old to have to bear now. Yeah, and I think that's something he should be able to talk to. He's going to need to talk to somebody.
Did you see Junior's broadcast this week? It was really outstanding. He talked about what happened with the family and how it was the same for him and how you need the support at this time. And nobody's even thinking about that he took some car out a couple of weeks ago. You have to think about the young man that's 20 years old that just lost his dad. Brian, I'm sorry.
And knowing Junior, he's the type that's going to reach out. He's going to put his arms around that kid and help him. Say what you want about Ty Gibbs.
Mary redeemed a $50,000 cash prize playing Chumba Casino online.
I was only playing for fun, so winning was a dream come true.
Chumba Casino is America's favorite free online social casino. You, too, could have the chance to win life-changing cash prizes. Absolutely anybody could be like Mary. Be like Mary. Log on to ChumbaCasino.com and play for free now. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details. The voice in the preceding commercial was not the actual voice of the winner.
How he comes off, but that's about the worst thing. And it really took the luster off what was supposed to be a celebratory day. I mean, it was, even when we heard about it, we were around the media center when the word came out, and it was like a kick to the gut. And it's just, you just have that knot in your stomach. Oh my God, that happened to somebody, I can't imagine. And it was, a terrible deal. And it's, you just wonder sometimes how, stuff like that happens. And I don't know if we're ever going to find out what really happened. I mean, all the rumors about partying and all that, that's not the type of person, Coy Gibbs was. They said he didn't even drink. So, you just don't know what the circumstances were, and I don't know if we ever will, but, thoughts and prayers to that family, because that's unimaginable pain to go through.
Back when I was 55 years old, which was a while back now, 15 years ago, I had an issue with my heart, and if it had happened to me in the middle of the night, I would have died. It happened to me right before we started doing this radio show. I knew something was wrong. I went to the hospital, and they saved my life. And really, it's a very possible situation that the same thing happened to Coy Gibbs. It might have been a very serious heart issue that you just didn't wake up for, and and like Brian said, they have not released any autopsy results, and I'm not sure they ever will. We really need to know. Maybe not.
Not really. No. Not going to bring him back.
Not so.
Interesting thing is to see what happens now with Joe Gibbs Racing going forward, because Coy was a big part of that. There are a group of people that were running it. Jimmy Makar was there.
Makar was there 31 years.
And he was going to retire. Now, whether that'll happen again now, who knows? I mean, he's a guy I could see maybe stepping up and doing it, because there's so much that goes into running that race team that people don't understand that that's all behind the scenes, and that's a big loss to everything there.
Yeah, Jimmy Makar had some title competition. He was not the president of Joe Gibbs Racing. Dave Alpern is, and but Jimmy Makar that was going to be his last event was Sunday, and retire after 31 years with the company. And it turns out he may not be able to now, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that whole thing. They did have to figure out who to put in the car, which was kind of an unusual situation. They would like to have put a Toyota driver in, but I'm not sure. For one, there were no drivers that were really left after Friday and Saturday's races. Most of the drivers went home. And so Allgaier, who's a Chevy driver, and Hemrick, that's a Chevy too, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah, he drives for Colleague.
Yeah, the Colleague Chevy team.
But he was with the Gibbs crew. He won the championship for the Xfinity guys on the Gibbs side the year before.
So it would have been a very unusual situation to put a Chevy driver into a Toyota, but talk about extenuating circumstances where you really don't have much choice. Even Ty Majeski went home Saturday, so not that he would have taken it over just because he was a Toyota driver, but he could not be under consideration even for it because he wasn't there. So just a weird situation. Our best to the Gibbs family. Just a terrible, terrible thing for him. We'll be back.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit BonafideSafe.com.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
This is Two Pros and a Cup of Joe.
We're getting back into it.
We had so many mental errors and mistakes. It's not the kind of football we're used to playing.
He's right in what he's saying.
Maybe they're just not good.
That's what bad teams do. They continuously they don't correct those errors. They keep making them.
Two Pros. LeVar Arrington, Brady Quinn, and a Cup of Joe. Jonas Knox.
Weekday mornings, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
It was a good week last week to not watch the Packers play and just watch the championship race. Let's go to the phones at 414-421-7901. Larry in Pewaukee's our first caller. Larry, let's talk NASCAR.
Good morning, fellas. Am I remembering correctly hearing that going into last Sunday's race, Kyle Larson had the possibility to win the Owners' Championship for Hendrick?
Yes, sir.
And what would have had to have happened for that to happen for him?
He would have had to win the race.
Oh, okay.
Or be ahead of the other. The Owners' Championship cars was the 1, the 22, the 5, and the 20. Those are the four that were in 4 cars that were in it for the Owners' Championship. It was the 9 of Elliott was the one in the Drivers' Championship that wasn't in the Owners. So if you switch out Elliott for Hendrick or for Kyle Larson, that's the difference between the Owners and the Drivers' Championship. He would have had to finish ahead of the other 3.
Okay, great. That's one of the reasons that I listen to you guys. You're on top of everything. Are you going to continue to have Sunday mornings even though the season's over with after?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have been the last few years. I will say that we're going to take off Christmas morning and New Year's morning. Christmas and New Year's both fall on a Sunday this year, and so that week we will not have programs. But for the entire off season, other than Christmas and New Year's, yes, we will be doing the show every Sunday morning. Same time, same station.
Great. Thanks for all you do. Take care.
All right. Thanks a lot for calling, Larry. We do appreciate it. Some things happening in the world of NASCAR. Some shuffling going on. Brian Patty, you may remember him being a long-time crew chief. He was the crew chief on the 47 car for Ricky Stenhouse. He left. Now, I can't imagine that this is a raise. This is not something that's really good for him. He went to the truck series. He's going to be the crew chief for Kyle Busch's number 51 Chevy truck this year, and he will be replaced by Mike Kelly. Now, if that name rings a bell just a little bit and you're not real sure where it came from, he was with Roush Racing for several years and actually won championships, right, Dan?
Yeah, he was Stenhouse's crew chief when he won the championship on the Xfinity or Busch Series, whatever they called it back then. He also was a crew chief, I think, on that 60 car that ran, the ill-fated 60 car that Majeski and Cindric and
and that was a bad thing all the way around, wasn't it?
And I just think with three different drivers there, it didn't go well because I'm not sure how much he listened to all three guys. He had three different drivers in a car, and I bet there were some issues there as far as. Sometimes I thought he needed to listen to the guy behind the wheel a little more on that situation. But he had success with Stenhouse when he won the championship. I remember that one year at Homestead, when the first year he won the championship, and Stenhouse just had to finish like 20th or something. He had enough points to do it, and everybody was racing him because they knew how it riled Ricky Stenhouse up. Guys were adoring him, and they were trying to race him. He'd race them back, and they're telling him, "What are you doing? Knock it off! Quit racing these guys. Are going to win this championship." And the last 10 laps of that race, Stenhouse held the button down. So all you heard on the radio was the car going like, "Don't talk to me." And I thought, man, that's something to do that for this kid to do that. But he won the championship, and that was, Kelly was not happy he was out there racing like that because he didn't need to be, but he just kind of shut him up and went and did it.
So Mike Kelly will reunite with Ricky Stenhouse on the 47 car this next year. So that's one. Another one that I thought was interesting is that Junior Motorsports not only is going to lose Noah Gragson to that Richard Petty, Jimmy Johnson team, the GMS team this next year, but they're also going to lose Luke Lambert, who is the crew chief for Gragson. Lambert is leaving to go along with Gragson. He's going to be working at the Petty Johnson thing next year. So, that's interesting that he just said, "I'm going."
It's 2 years now in a row that the crew chief from the 9 Xfinity car went over to Petty GMS because the crew chief for Eric Jones in the 43 is Dave. Is it Dave Ellens? Is that his name? He was on the 9 car the year before. So that's 2 years now that the crew chief from the 9 has gone over to Petty GMS to take along.
That's funny, Brian. You said something earlier when we were talking about this that it was going to be Hendrick 2.0. But things have changed a little bit over at not just at Junior Motorsports, but it's turned around pretty much at GMS.
Yeah, I mean, Junior Motorsports has always been the feeder series for Hendrick because Hendrick really never ran Xfinity teams. So when guys would be running Xfinity races, it was always Junior Motorsports. And for years, there's always been talk about Junior Motorsports, maybe getting into the Cup Series, getting a Cup, a Cup team going, and then with the new car, there was even more talk about it. But with Petty GMS going this direction and having Junior or Jimmy Johnson going over there and stuff like that, I sure seems more likely now that that's going to be Hendrick 2.0 and Junior Motorsports is maybe just going to stay an Xfinity team.
A feeder series, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're not just feeding the Chevrolets, though. They're just they're just going to be the way it looks. They're going to feed. They've got some superior talent over there, and they develop them, and then guys leave. I guess that's what the whole point is, right? They can't all go to Hendrick anymore,
right? Yeah, Hendrick has been pretty full, so I don't know. It's interesting. You just wonder. I mean, you think Junior would want to take that next step sooner or later, especially with this new car. And he keeps talking about it, but now you haven't heard anything all year long. So I guess the next time Junior's up, that would be a good question to ask. Are you thinking about, going Cup racing again eventually?
have you seen the price tag that goes along with going cup racing?
Well, exactly. I think that's the big thing, you know.
It's not like Junior couldn't afford a charter either. You know, he was the highest paid driver for many years before he retired, and he's doing rather well for himself now too. I think he would all he'd have to do is write a check, and he could have a charter. But is it the best business decision or not?
And we heard it during the Thursday media session too. He talked about how, you know, for that Xfinity race, because the championship was going on, he excused himself from the race. So I guess think about if he were to be a Cup owner, would that maybe, you know, muddy the waters a little bit for his broadcasting career, which is what he's really good at. So maybe that's another facet of it that, you know, he's still thinking maybe this you know, TV deal is a better deal than being a Cup owner. And, you know, it's probably a lot less stressful, you would think.
Certainly keeps you involved in the sport like he wanted to be. He's about as involved as anybody could be. But got multiple teams that he owns in Xfinity. Plus, he's got his own very successful podcast slash television show. Plus, you know, he's a star on NBC. So he's doing all right for himself.
And all that, I don't have to fix nothing. I don't have to get any sponsors. I can still go to the races and have fun. It seems like a better deal.
Yeah, it does. He can exhale Saturday night and enjoy his Sundays.
And his sister is running the show at the race team, too. So, and she's doing a pretty darn good job of it, we might say. We'll be back.
Hey, race fans, Elkhart Lake's Road America Season Pass is now available at early bird pricing for a limited time. The Road America Season Pass makes a great gift for you or the racing fan on your gift list. This special personalized pass includes 50-plus days of racing, including the IndyCar, Superbikes, and more. Hurry and order your Season Pass today at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com or 1-800-365-RACE. Road America, your national park of speed.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
This is Two Pros and a Cup of Joe.
We're getting back into it.
It's going to be really hard for the Packers to make the playoffs. That's what it's going to be really hard to do. They are done. And have a nice evening. We appreciate you. And that'll go ahead and wrap things up there for the Green Bay Packers.
Might finish last.
Who look awful.
Two Pros. LeVar Arrington, Brady Quinn, and a Cup of Joe. Jonas Knox.
Weekday mornings, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back to the program. We're hearing some tidbits out of Chicago. They're going to start selling tickets. Did they start already?
Yeah, I got some emails earlier in the week. I want to say like Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday. Be prepared to open your wallet if you want to have a reserved seat for the Chicago street race. Looking it over, there's going to be a couple different grandstands in a couple different locations. Some of them aren't real high. A lot of these grandstands are only like 5 rows. I don't know what you're going to be able to see from that. And it's a 2-day ticket.
Mary redeemed a $50,000 cash prize playing Chumba Casino online.
I was only playing for fun, so winning was a dream come true.
Chumba Casino is America's favorite free online social casino. You, too, could have the chance to win life-changing cash prizes. Absolutely anybody could be like Mary. Be like Mary. Log on to ChumbaCasino.com and play for free now. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details. The voice of the preceding commercial was not the actual voice of the winner.
Lucky Land Slots, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
And the investment is roughly $521 for a reserved seat.
You can get a 2-day ticket that is reserved starting at $465, but general admission for Sunday only is $269 each.
Yes, and I don't. And the part that's very muddy right now, when you look this over, and I've been scanning this website a lot, is what you're going to be able to see if you don't have a grandstand ticket. Because unlike Road America, where you can prop yourself up on a hill and see distances from there, street races are completely different. You got walls on both sides, you got fences. It's not a real elevated area, so it's kind of vague right now as to what they're going to have available for the people that have general admission tickets and what you're going to be able to see. They do also talk about having 2 A-list concerts during the weekend also. So they haven't announced who the artists are going to be, but that's one of the big things they're pushing with this as well. But it's not going to be a cheap event. We'll put it that way.
No. And this week also, and this one just killed me. Let's see. The guy's name is Chad Sigler. He is the vice president of international business for NASCAR. Okay, this is a guy who can say this. He said that NASCAR is going to have a race outside of the United States, and his quote was, "It's when, not if." It's going to happen, folks, and makes you wonder, why are we going to go? Okay, where are we going to go? Toronto or Mexico City, maybe? Do you think we'd go overseas like the NFL and play in Germany or in England?
They used to. I mean, it wasn't a points race. Remember, they ran Suzuka in Japan as an exhibition race. They went over in Australia in the late
Australia, yeah.
And they've done it before in the past, but never was an actual official point event. It was always something special.
And that question arose during the State of the Sport last weekend also, and Steve Phelps was very noncommittal about it, and he kind of shrugged it off as, well, we really don't know right now, and it's really not something that's on the table. So this could be a writer trying to stir up something, reading into something, but the actual officials from NASCAR kind of poo-pooed the idea at the time.
Yeah, well, this guy's the vice president at NASCAR who said it's when, not if. So to me, the question is, we're going to go to Mexico City while we have a spectacular racetrack right here in Wisconsin that really deserves to have their race back, did nothing to lose a race, and yet we took it to Chicago, speaking of a foreign country, and the next thing you know, we're going to be somewhere else with a perfect track, the best road course in the world, not just in the country, in the world, and a proven commodity. Why are we talking about going overseas exactly? It just doesn't, it's exposure. It's really good exposure. Why is the NFL playing in Germany today? Well, exposure. My ass.
Exposure, and it's, if there's a market for it, I mean, if they can sell out stadiums like the NFL's doing, if you can take 2 teams that aren't that good and sell the place out, it's the same thing that maybe happen on a NASCAR race. I get why they're doing it. It's more TV coverage and everything else too, and then make them some money, but whether it's something that's sustainable long term, I don't know, it might just be a one and done type thing.
The track at North Wilkesboro, by the way, is coming along. That's taxpayer money getting thrown into that place. They are putting just over $1 million worth of safer barriers around the track, and just under $2 million is being spent for lighting. Comes out to $3 million for safer barriers and lighting for a track that only at this point has a NASCAR exhibition race scheduled for it for the Cup Series. And I don't know, it seems like a pretty big investment. And now it's infrastructure, right, Brian? It's not just to have that. There's a whole lot more they need at North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, the restroom facilities need to be upgraded. And a lot of this is coming at the expense of, they were going to originally pave the place. And digging through everything, if you remember, their original plan back this summer was to run those series of asphalt races, which they did in August, and then tear up the old surface and then run some dirt racing in October. But they scratched all that after the success of the late model stock and super late model races that they had there. So now the pavement is going to stay, and they have no plans right now to repave it in the near future. So the truck race and the All-Star race next May is going to be held on the existing surface. So that way they can transfer some of that money into improving the other amenities around there, which I think is a good idea, because if you want to go forward with that facility, you need to upgrade that stuff there. If the racing surface is still, good to race on and there are no issues with it, let them race on that old surface and improve all the other amenities to get traffic in and out, good restroom facilities, concessions, seating, all that sort of stuff. So right now the plan is for about 24,000 seats for that race. And when they
that's
start
pretty
selling
cool.
tickets. Yeah,
I mean,
and
it really is.
As we've said before on this program, make those races. You can afford to raise the price of the ticket if you make it a more, less amount of people can go there. You make it more of a valuable get. Kind of like the Green Bay Packers. You have all these people on a waiting list. You make it a valuable get. Unlike when you have the All-Star race at big, huge places like Texas, nobody really cares because you can just walk up and buy a ticket. Make it a must-see event. You can raise the price, and you're going to be able to get away with it. And I think that's what they're doing with that event.
The last time North Wilkesboro was paved was 1981. Oh, interesting. Let's talk to Greg from faraway Milwaukee, waiting patiently on line 2. How you doing, Greg? Oh, did we lose Greg? Okay, sorry about that. I don't know what happened there, but sometimes these things happen. And if you'd like to call, 414-421-7901. The total purse for every Cup race this last year is estimated to have been between $270 and $290 million for driving a stock car. How about that? Have we come a long way over the years? I think we should. All right. We'll try it again. Greg, I think Greg is back. Sorry about that. I don't know what we did. Welcome back, Greg.
Yeah, good to hear from you again. I can't imagine, and knowing Dan, I can't imagine him driving that Mustang down to Australia. But anyhow,
you got to go really
I just
fast.
wanted to give a shout out to. We lost a member from the Milwaukee Mile, and I don't know whether it was mentioned. Paul Elliott passed away a couple of weeks back. He was a long time, worked in the front office there, primarily with vendors and so forth. But also, guys, I wanted to ask you, what would be your suggestion for a better format for the championship race? How can we make it more exciting rather than just having the Final Four and just having the leader go all the way like Joey Logano did? It wasn't very exciting at all.
Well, listen, they have put about as much as they can to ensure that one race is as exciting as it can be. And you have to admit, having 4 guys with a possibility of walking away with the championship in one race is a pretty exciting scenario all the way around. I don't
just have it at Bristol.
But have it at Bristol. I actually, when they announced they were going to do it here at Phoenix, I thought, why would you take it away from a track that has been proven over and over again to put on a spectacular show like Homestead Miami? That's, to me, the only thing they could do to improve it. And that's from a guy who lives 10 miles from the track here in Phoenix. So, I would have to say, what they do now is pretty damn impressive, and
and it's as good as the teams are. I mean, we've had Super Bowls that have been clunker, and you've had Super Bowls that have been nail biters. Penske just had their stuff together. You think about the 2 races before that; those were nail biters. You had Zane Smith and you had the 4 truck guys all right there at the end until Ty spun out. Same thing with the Xfinity race. You had Noah chasing Ty Gibbs right at the end. You had Noah leading a lot of it. It has more to do with the competitors than it has to do with the racetrack, in my opinion. And Penske just had their A game on last Saturday. That's all you can say.
Greg, we thank you very much for the call. Great points, as usual. We'll be back.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
Hey, race fans, Elkhart Lake's Road America Season Pass is now available at early bird pricing for a limited time. The Road America Season Pass makes a great gift for you or the racing fan on your gift list. This special personalized pass includes 50-plus days of racing, including the IndyCar, Superbikes, and more. Hurry and order your Season Pass today at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com or 1-800-365-RACE. Road America, your national park of speed.
Fall has arrived, but there's still time to get your landscaping complete before the snow flies. And PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
The Milwaukee Admirals are back on the road Sunday when they travel to Chicago to take on the Wolves. Evangelista slot Novak. Sonny scored! Tommy Novak! Pre-game coverage starts at 2:30. Face-off is at 3 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app. Into the slot, he'll find Thompson. Left circle, shoots! Save made. Rebound score! Marcus Nurmi!
And now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
Dirt track racing truly never takes an off season, so there's still racing going on across the country. We'll start Tuesday in Petty, Texas, the Rocket Raceway for the Short Track Super Series Big Block Modifieds. They did their Cajun swing. Surprisingly enough, they all come from New York, and they worked their way down to warmer weather to run for a whole week. 4,000 to win. Ryan Godown was your winner Tuesday night. They did it again Wednesday night, same place. 5,000 to win. Andy Bacchetti was your winner there. Thursday night, they moved over to Vivian, Louisiana at the Arclatech Speedway for 4,000 to win. Matt Shepard picked up the money there. Also Thursday night, Las Vegas, Nevada, the dirt track at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, their annual Duel in the Desert, night number 1. The XR SS Super late models were there. 20,000 to win. Shane Clanton was your winner. 105 IMCA Modified showed up night number 1 Thursday. Cody Thompson was your winner. And about 70 IMCA stock cars. Shelby Williams won the preliminary night on Thursday. Friday night's big block race in Louisiana was rained out. They raced in Yuma, Arizona at the Cocopah Speedway for the ASCS 360s. Dominic Selzy was your winner there. Sonoya, Georgia, the Castro Flow Late Model Night in America, Peach State
Bubba's
Classic.
track.
Bubba Pollard owns that speedway, and if you followed anything on social media, they put in a Herculean effort to get that race in with the hurricane that came up through Florida. It kind of worked its way into Georgia. They, on Thursday, tarped that racetrack. They had a helicopter there Friday morning to dry it. They put in as much effort as you ever seen. Anybody that ever questions Bubba's ability to be a race promoter, he did it. And they got the race in Friday night. 20,000 to win. Kyle Bronson got the win. Night number 2 in Las Vegas, Nevada for the Duel in the Desert. Another 20,000 to win for the late models. Jonathan Davenport was your winner. Another preliminary feature for the modifieds. Ryan McDaniel was your winner there, and the IMCA Stockers was Tom Berry Jr. Last night, Columbus, Mississippi, the Magnolia Motor Speedway, the Crate Racing USA, 10,000 to win crate late models went to, this is an older guy who's been around for a while. Ronnie Johnson picked up the win there. You want to talk about old guys in the modifieds? Kenny Schrader won the modified feature there.
About that.
2 guys in their 60s for sure, winning races there. Night number 2 in Yuma, Arizona at the Cocopah Speedway for the ASCS 360 Sprint Cars. Dominic Selzy completed the sweep there, winning both. York Haven, Pennsylvania, the BA Baps Motor Speedway for the 410 Sprint Cars. Brent Marks continued his unbelievable season, picking up the win there. Greenwood, Louisiana, the final night of the Short Track Super Series Big Block Modifies. The Gunslinger 40, $20,000 to win. Ryan Godown was your winner. The final night at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the Duel in the Desert. $40,000 to win for the XRSS Super Late Models. Bobby Pierce picked up the win. $5,000 to win for the IMCA Modifieds went to Tom Berry Jr. And get this, $25,000 to win for the IMCA Stock Cars. Unbelievable money for those guys. Zane DeVilbiss picked up the money there. And finally, the big money race of the weekend was in Sonoya, Georgia, the final night of the Castro Flow Racing Late Model Night in America series, the Peach State Classic. $53,053 to win that feature. Ricky Thornton Jr. did an he laid down. He won by over 10 seconds on a 3/8 mile racetrack last night, leaving no doubt, leading every lap. The thing went green to checkered, picking up the big paycheck. The 2022 champion of the Flow Series went to Brandon Shepard. And that is everything we have for this week.
Pickle, where did he start?
Where did Ricky Thornton Jr. start? Yeah, on the front.
Well, that's the way it works sometimes. Yeah, we know guys that can start in the front win races, even on asphalt races. It's not just dirt. Of course, what Bickle will tell you is that the only guys that win on dirt start up front, which is not the case, but he'll tell you that anyway.
Yes.
All right. We had only one big event in the world of asphalt racing. It was the Fall Brawl at Hickory, North Carolina. In the pro late models, Caden Quapple kicked some serious behind and won that thing going away. The big headline that you will read in the late model stocks, Coleman Presley was the winner. Why that is significant is because Coleman Presley is the spotter for Joey Logano when he runs in the Cup Series, and he jumped into this late model stock car, and Joey Logano was the spotter for Coleman Presley, and he won the thing. So that's pretty cool. We had and I'm not usually giving you results about rally cross racing. We did have one here called the Nitro Rally Cross at Wild Horse Pass here in Arizona. Travis Pastrana won it, but Austin Cindric and Chase Elliott both competed, and it didn't do very much. What's significant about this Wild Horse Pass, it's on an Indian reservation. It used to be called Thunderbird drag strip, that they had NHRA shows for many years, and the Indians would go ahead and give the promotional rights out and let other people promote it until they saw how much money was being made. Then the Indians took it over, changed the name from Thunderbird to Wild Horse Pass. There's a casino hotel right on the property, and they've got a drag strip for those drag boats, I forget what they call them. That's all on the property. The Indians sold everything to the state of Arizona. It's going to become an interchange on the freeway. Just terrible. Along with Canyon Speedway, which is going to close here, that's right close by here. That's this year. And Arizona Speedway, which closed last year. What the hell is going on? We're going to take a break and be back. We'll talk a little bit about the Snowball Derby coming up.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
Hey, race fans, Elkhart Lake's Road America Season Pass is now available at early bird pricing for a limited time. The Road America Season Pass makes a great gift for you or the racing fan on your gift list. This special personalized pass includes 50-plus days of racing, including the IndyCar, Superbikes, and more. Hurry and order your Season Pass today at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com or 1-800-365-RACE. Road America, your national park of speed.
This week on NASCAR Live, we chatted with Jimmy Johnson.
This opportunity is presented to me. The idea comes about, and I can kind of see a pathway forward and see a very bright future for myself in this ownership role and being partnered with Maury Gallagher and his vision to success. Obviously, the King and his history and legacy. It's just an opportunity of a lifetime for me that I had to take.
There's much more waiting for you each week on NASCAR Live.
Every Tuesday night at 6 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
And welcome back to LTN. A couple things that I wanted to mention here. The NASCAR banquet is coming up. That's December the 1st in Nashville. All three series are going to have their banquet. Is it at the same night or the same venue, Dan? How did they announce that?
All in the same place. There's not much as far as any kind of TV coverage or any kind of things that way.
We don't know yet. Nothing is announced.
I noticed they had burnouts in that last year. They don't have that scheduled this year in downtown. So there's not a whole lot of fanfare involved with it, but it looks like everything's on one night on December 1st.
Don't be surprised if the only way you can watch the Nashville banquets is on Peacock streaming. We're headed that direction anyway. They haven't announced yet, but to me, let's not be surprised if we hear that. And that's, of course, December 1st. Now, following that is the Snowball Derby down in Pensacola, Florida. And it's what's significant to us is the fact that several Wisconsin drivers make their way down there to race in that thing, and a couple of Cup drivers are going to do it too. We know that William Byron, who won the Slinger Nationals, is going to race in the same car. And also Noah Gragson is going to race down there. What car does he have? Is it his own, Dan? We don't really know that, do we?
Look it up. It was somebody else's, and they said it in the release. And
it's a number 30 car, so I don't know exactly whose that will be.
Okay. All right. Well, Ty Majeski is scheduled to race down there. He's going to be racing at Punta Gorda, Florida before that, which is a much, much better payday. If you're smart, you would skip the Snowball Derby and go to Punta Gorda and race for a lot more money. But Snowball Derby is there's a lot of prestige that goes along with that. And from what we can tell, other drivers from our area that are headed that way are Austin Nason, Luke Fenhaus, Carson Quapple, and Casey Johnson are all going down there. Dennis Prunty is going to take his own, what is it, Dan, a 604 Outlaw late model?
Yeah, it's like our 602 Outlaws here, but they run 604 engines down there, and it's the Outlaw car. I guess I don't know if he bought it or built it, but it's his own, and he's going down to run on Saturday. He's got a built motor that from somebody gave him to run down there, and I think he can do pretty good.
I would say. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. That comes up always the first weekend in December, whatever that is, 3rd or 4th, I guess.
That other race before in Punta Gorda is November 26th. This Thanksgiving weekend is the one. They run down there, and then everybody kind of hightails up the highway to get to Pensacola.
Interesting. All right, we'll keep you up on what happens down there. Brian, this week we got some things published, and I suppose it was put out to the public. I mean, it's not like we stole anything, but I see that it was published what the proposal is for the city of Nashville to put money into the Nashville Fairgrounds racetrack so that they can run the Cup Series in the future. A couple of things I thought were interesting. One was it's a 30-year lease that Bristol, who's put the proposal forward, Bristol put it forward to Nashville for this. And even though it's a 30-year lease, there's only 15 races mentioned.
Yeah, this is something that's been in the works for many, many years. We've gone over this multiple times here, but finally the mayor's office and Bristol finally have reached an agreement on a contract. If you go to J-Ski, you can see the artist renderings of the place. It looks like it's going to be really cool, but it sounds like right now they're looking at maybe racing there every other year instead of running every year, which, some people may like that, some people may not. But yet again, like we talked about before, you want to try to make these must-see events that you want people to get the tickets. You can afford to have the ticket prices a little higher because they're going to be more exclusive and harder to get, and that's one way to do it, to make it a must-see event, is to make it something that's only going to happen every other year. So the question is, how would they work that schedule out? We've always talked, is Bristol going to put dirt on it every year? I mean, that ages and wears the track a lot. So you could be maybe looking at something where when they get this facility done, you don't run the dirt at Bristol every year and you run there instead. That's a possibility. There's other possibilities, but seeing that it's agreement with Bristol, my guess would be that's where your date would come from if you're going to go there.
And keep in mind, there's already a race out at Lebanon, Tennessee, right outside of Nashville at the Nashville Super Speedway.
Correct. Yeah. Yes. So it's completely different types of racing, but the Nashville market, that's a market that people have been really going after. They support their events. IndyCar runs their street race there, which is kind of a suspect event if you've ever watched it, but they fill that place up for that. They've had good crowds at Nashville Super Speedway for their two events, or for their event, the two that they've had there so far. So I think that's a market that you can get a lot of people to go to if you have a successful event there.
Interesting that maybe Bristol will give up one of its two events every other year to create a place for the Nashville date on the schedule, since they're running it, right?
That would be what it sure looks like is going to be the way to go with it.
Interesting. Also, to me, was very interesting when you said that it's not easy. And on the racetrack, it's hard on the racetrack itself when you cover it with dirt once a year and put on some races and then scrape all the dirt off. I don't personally understand why they wouldn't do the last race this year, the first race next year, and then scrape it off and do, the last race this year and the first race next year on pavement rather than every other one,
It's a concrete surface, and the amount of weight you leave on that concrete stresses it out. So the idea is to get it on, get your race, and then get it off. So if you were to put it on in fall and then let it sit on there all year long, all throughout the winter, and you get the extra weight of the snow and the rain on it, you're just stressing that concrete out even more. That's the thing with it. You stress out concrete, it breaks, and then you have messes just like you have on your city streets across the country. So I think that's why you're looking at something where maybe they're not going to continue to do that every year.
As we mentioned earlier in the program, we are going to do this program all year round like we usually do. So make sure that you make us a part of your regular Sunday morning program. If you can not only hear us here on the Big 920, but you can also hear us. We do a podcast that's available wherever podcasts are available. And plus, you can listen to us live on our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel every week, too, which we do have quite a few viewers for that. Hey, thanks for tuning in. And remember, real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our engineer is Matt Losi. For all of us involved with the program, we appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you next week.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.
Stella Rosa Wines wants to make your holidays a little bit merrier with an extra $500 in your wallet. Enter the Wish Upon a Stella Rosa contest at stellarosa.com/wish for your chance to win. For every winner, Stella Rosa will match a donation to a charity partner. Learn more and enter to win at stellarosa.com/wish. Stella Rosa Wines wishes you a fun and safe holiday season. Please celebrate responsibly.
Celebrate Stella Rosa.